It's 10 trivia questions on August in history, a month on facts to close out Classics Week. This is Trivia with Buds. What it be, and welcome to another episode of the Trivia with Buds podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Budds. Thanks for listening to the show and telling a friend who loves trivia to give it a listen as well. We've put out almost 2,000 episodes, and I'm so excited to bring it to you every weekday, Monday through Friday. And today's no different. It's August in History, a fun quiz from a book called 399 Games, Puzzles, and Trivia Challenges, specially designed to keep your brain young, by Nancy Lind. I highly recommend you check it out if you love puzzles, daily challenges, and if you host trivia. It's a great resource. Before we get into today's last episode of Classics Week, we have our Geek Out Challenge card, and that card has these challenges. Name 6 feature film directors. For television, 2 sets of characters who are twins. For literature, 2 books that take place in the 1600s. For music, 4 punk rock bands or groups. And for miscellaneous, 4 side-scrolling video games. A quick little warm-up there for you, and we're off to the races. August in history, coming up right now. 11 questions. Here we go. All right, it's August in History Trivia, a month on facts. Let's see what you know. And I give you the year and a question about something that happened, famous in world history and U.S. history. Number 1, 1902. This Edgar Rice Burroughs classic novel was first published in serial installments in several magazines. Number 1, 1902. Edgar Rice Burroughs classic novel was first published in serial installments in several magazines. Number 1. Number 2, August history, 1947. When India gained independence after 200 years of British rule, several Muslim-majority regions were separated off, forming this new country. Number 2. Number 3, 1956. This American abstract painter, famous for pouring and dripping paint on canvas, died in a car crash while driving drunk. Who was that? Number 3. And number 4, 1977, after less than 2 weeks in office, Gerald Ford nominated this former governor to serve as vice president. Who was that? Number 4. Number 5, 1997, Princess Diana last left this hotel before her fatal car accident in Paris. What was the name of the hotel that Diana stayed at before her fatal accident? Number 5. Question number 6, 1954. Time magazine published the first issue of this new magazine with a Milwaukee Brewers player swinging at a New York Giants pitch. Number 7, 1888. A prostitute named Mary Ann Nichols was found murdered in London's East End, the first victim of this notorious serial killer. Number 8, 1963, which Washington, D.C. landmark was MLK Jr. standing in front of when he first gave his I Have a Dream speech? What was the name of that landmark Martin Luther King Jr. stood in front of when giving his famous I Have a Dream speech? Number 9, 1977, Elvis was found dead on the bathroom floor of his Graceland mansion in this city. What city did Elvis pass away in? Number 9. Number 10, 1984, the author of Breakfast at Tiffany's and In Cold Blood died at age 59 in his home. What was his name? And most recently, in 2005, to close it out, the bonus question, number 11, who was the mayor of New Orleans at the time of the brutal Hurricane Katrina? Who was the mayor of New Orleans? Those are all of your questions for August history. We'll be right back in just a second with the answers. We are back with the answers to August in history. Hopefully you had fun trying to figure out the answers to these questions throughout time. From all the way back in 1888 to 2005, let's see what you knew. Number 1, 1902, this Edgar Rice Burroughs classic novel was first published in serial installments in several magazines. That was Tarzan. Tarzan, King of the Jungle. Number 2, 1947, when India gained independence after 200 years of British rule, several Muslim-majority regions were separated off, forming this new country, Pakistan. Pakistan. Number 3, 1956, this American abstract painter, famous for pouring and dripping paint on canvas, died in a car crash while driving drunk. That was Jackson Pollock. Jackson Pollock. Number 4, 1977, after less than 2 weeks in office, Gerald Ford nominated this former governor to serve as vice president. Nelson Rockefeller was the answer there, Nelson Rockefeller. Number 5, 1997, Princess Diana last left this hotel before her fatal car accident in Paris. It was the Ritz Paris. Number 6, 1954, Time magazine published the first issue of Sports Illustrated with the Brewers and Giants facing off. Number 7, 1888, the prostitute named Mary Ann Nichols was the first victim of Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper. Number 8, 1963, which Washington, D.C. landmark was MLK Jr. standing in front of when he gave his famous I Have a Dream speech? The Lincoln Monument. Lincoln Monument. Number 9, 1977, Elvis was found dead on the bathroom floor of his Graceland mansion in Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis. And number 10, 1984, the author of Breakfast at Tiffany's and In Cold Blood died at age 59 in his home. The late, great Truman Capote. A lot of death in this round, but hey, that's how it goes. The bonus, 2005, who was the mayor of New Orleans at the time of the brutal Hurricane Katrina? Ray Nagin was the later corrupt mayor of New Orleans, if I'm not mistaken. And that was your 2-point bonus question. Great job. If you got them all right, well done, well done. You must be a history buff if you chose to listen to this episode, or if you got them all right, or both. We have a fact of the day for you, and the fact of today to close out Classics Week is this. It is a caterpillar has more muscles in their body than a human. Caterpillar has more muscles than a human. All right, back to 5 random quizzes next week. This was our first theme week in a while. Hope you enjoyed the vintage quizzes. And I had a Patreon subscriber ask, hey, when are you going to get to my topics on the Patreon Excel sheet? And I don't do them in any particular order. So even though you pick a topic every single month, I don't always record it in that month. I kind of just will decide a week to do the Patreon topics, and I'll do 5 of them or 10 of them and record 2 weeks at once. So be on the lookout for topics that you have chosen over the last couple months. If you have been waiting for those, I will get to some Patreon topics next week. Thanks for liking. That's not even a thing. Thanks for listening. Thanks for telling a friend. And we'll see you next time for more trivia with Buds. Cheers.